want to give you a short background. 13% of the population in the United States is black. That's a good thing. 49% of those people living in the USA today with HIV/AIDS are actually black. Did you hear me? 49%. We're 13% of the population, but 49% of us are living with AIDS today. 152 people will be infected today with the AIDS virus, and half of them will be black. 2/3 of all new HIV cases are black women. Let me repeat that. 2/3 of all new HIV cases are black women. So what's going on, your question was, what's going on in our community? There are a lot of things going on. I think one of the things is for too long, people have focused on AIDS and just thinking of it as homosexuals. And that's a stereotype. And in the black community, I am going to say this, I think I can say we're generally, we have too many homophobic people in the black community. Not all of them are, but too many are. So there's a lack of awareness of genuinely talking about AIDS. Remember the question that Professor Jolivet just asked, how many of you talk just about sex? When I was growing up, I'm 60. I didn't know what sex was. My mom gave me a book when I was about 13 years old called Growing Up and Liking Me. I read the book 3 times. I didn't know what it was about. In the old days, they never said words like vagina or penis or sex. I didn't know what I was reading. So what I'm arguing is that in the black community, even today, there's an aura of silence about issues regarding sex. When I told you that 2/3 of all new HIV cases are black women, do you know a lot of those cases are black women who are older, like me, not me, but like me, older black women who are recently divorced or widowed, and then they get back into the dating scene and they don't ask certain questions at all. And they're operating like it was 1975. And so we have this aura of silence within the black community. I think when we talk about black women, particularly in sex, some black women have been socialized to think that they're nothing without a man and they must have some kind of a relationship. And don't ask too many questions. Let it be open. It's all good. But sometimes when we have these open relationships or hookups or friends with benefits, is that what you call it? When we're doing all of this, it can really impact our communities and our women. Black women generally are labeled as bad or villains if they do acquire AIDS. They don't want to, generally, they don't want to talk about it. And a lot of black women, all age groups, are really silent about it. So if they do have, they just don't talk about it at all. And that's a problem. But I think before we say use a condom, which is good, I like that. But when we look in the black community, you have to look at the other factors. I'm nothing without a man, or am I in a relationship where I'm getting some kind of economic benefit? Can I really demand that this person use a condom? Who's going to pay the rent, the mortgage? Or sometimes there might be drug issues involved. Do you understand there's like a veil of secrecy behind what's really going on in our communities, and we don't address it, we don't talk about it, but all we'll say is just use a condom. And I think until we become authentic and real and look at all of the dynamics of what's happening, we'll have a better chance. Now, I don't want to say too many negative things. I will say this, there are some organizations that are doing a really good job. Some churches, I think there's a church representative back there in the corner, Allen Temple, isn't it? They have a really aggressive, very good program that's realistic for the community, and they engage everybody. There's this guy called Lucas and Jamie Foxx. They have a program called the I Know campaign. The NAACP is now active in dealing with AIDS in the black community. And there's a woman named Shirley, you heard of this actress Shirley Ralph? She has a program called the Diva Foundation, and she's really doing some things. But I would argue that not enough is being done. For example, and I'm going to question for this. When I think of all of the Black Studies programs or Africana Studies programs in the United States, you know we have over 3,000 colleges and universities in America. How many of those Black Studies programs are actively and aggressively dealing with this issue? You see? Shall I go to the sororities and the fraternities? I mean, I'm talking about on the forefront. And until that happens, I think we're going to have the silence and the disease will spread. And as I told you today, 152 people by midnight in America will be infected with AIDS, and half of them will be Black.